All right, this is, of course, the travel podcast. Live, of course, shooting from a Constitutional Hill in Johannesburg. The event is hosted by, of course, AAVEA, which is an association, obviously, in the tourism space. And I'm joined here by Mr. Peter. Mr. Peter, before we even begin, I just want you to correct the pronunciation for your surname. Did you give the lady a pass, or did she
Yeah,
get it right?
yes. It
Yeah.
was a small pass.
Okay.
But it's unfair to ask people from foreign countries to
Yeah,
pronounce a
yeah,
Dutch name.
yeah. And what is the correct pronunciation?
So my name is Peter van der Schans.
Vander.
Van der Schans.
Okay,
Yeah.
great stuff. I guess I'll have to practice that a little bit more because
It's okay.
that is not my language.
Most people just say Van der Schans.
Yeah,
Which is fine.
but you're from IAAPA.
Yes.
Tell us more about the organization. It's a global organization.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Tell us more about it.
yeah. So IAAPA stands for the International Association for Theme Parks and Attractions, or attractions
Yeah.
and amusement parks. But we kind of we kept the name IAAPA because it's globally a known brand, but we wanted to make it more global. So we stepped away from
Yeah.
international, and now we call ourselves the Global Association for the Attractions Industry. So we represent over 7,000 members globally, which are theme parks, which are cruise lines, which are visitor attractions around the world, but also the suppliers.
Yeah.
So it's both facilities, but also the manufacturers and suppliers. So, for example, companies that build roller coasters or ticketing systems, or it's a very wide variety of members.
Yeah. One of the speakers actually spoke about Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which is, of course, a big project in the African continent right now.
Yeah.
Of course, some may say it's still in the pipeline, but I do believe it's something that is really progressing. Because a lot of organizations, such as the African Union as well, is at the forefront of this. I just want to know, IPA as a global organization, where is it positioning itself in terms of connecting people in the African continent as an organization? What is your role
To
there?
be fair, I think we should do better.
Okay.
So I'm representing the EMEA region, Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
Yeah.
In this region, we have 1,800 members, but only 17 out of those 1,800 are from the continent of Africa. So the others are mainly in Europe and the Middle East.
Yeah.
So we need to do a better storytelling in the continent to be more represented in the continent, to be present at events like this, like working together with AAVEA,
Yeah.
to show what IAAPA is, to explain what IAAPA is, to gain new members,
Sure.
and to be able to learn also from the new members that we gain. So I never really like to have members because we want to have members, but I want to have members because every member has its own story, and from every member we can learn.
Yeah.
So the more members we will have in Africa, the more we can actually connect, the more we can learn from each other. So working together with AAVEA is one big step there to
Lovely.
actually make
Lovely.
this better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great stuff. And what are some of the attractions that you think in Africa can actually attract, the people like from the side of Europe, and other parts of the world besides the African continent? What are some of the attractions that that
I
can
think
attract
it's
people?
very there's a lot of variety. I think if you think, for example, South Africa, I think most people think about nature, safaris, wildlife parks, musea like
Yeah.
the Apartheid Museum, for example. I think those are the more famous
Yeah.
ones. If you look at Africa as the continent, you can look at the pyramids in Egypt, for example.
Yes,
Or
yes.
so natural heritage, I would say, is definitely a way
Yeah.
to start.
Yeah.
If the economy is strong enough and people are having money to spend, then usually you see more made visitor attractions. So that was one of the questions from the audience as well. So what then you see theme parks starting. Of course, you have Gold Reef City here in Johannesburg,
Yes, Gold
which
Reef
is
City,
a
of course,
very good
yeah.
example.
Yeah.
But once you see the economy growing, you'll probably see more of those, and
Yeah.
people are looking more for
Yeah.
things to do.
And do you think many people started visiting South Africa because of a lot of people said there was one time I was speaking to this other person, and they said after 1994 in South Africa, because of Nelson Mandela as a brand or as a representative
Yeah.
of South Africa,
Yeah.
we started seeing a lot of people from the West and from other parts of the world and from other continents starting to visit South Africa. Would you say that him as an individual or as a representative of South Africa or as a brand, I don't know how to
Yeah,
even,
yeah, I get
do
what
you
you
think
mean.
he contributed to
Absolutely.
tourism in South Africa?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he, everyone likes a hero.
Okay.
And I think he's one of the biggest heroes that we've seen in history. Not
Yeah.
only in Africa, I think globally actually.
Yeah.
And his story, his background, and making one huge problem very very visible,
Yeah.
very emotional,
Yeah.
and bring it actually to the people. I think it's a huge change in history, and I think people want to know about that. So if you think about South Africa, you think of Nelson Mandela, and
Yeah.
if you visit South Africa, you want to see Robben Island, for
Yeah.
example, or the
Yeah.
Apartheid Museum. So you want to, at least I think the people that are coming to this country, they
Yeah.
want to understand where it came from and how
Okay.
it's addressed
Okay.
nowadays.
Yeah. One last question. What are you guys busy with on behalf of IAAPA?
Sorry?
What are you guys busy with right now in terms of like
Oof.
programs that are really running?
We're always busy with many things together, but I think one of the biggest ones is working with AAVEA and strengthen our partnership right now. I think we're always working on new events. So
Yeah.
our next event will be in Spain, in Madrid,
Yeah.
which we're preparing for now. We're hosting a big expo in Orlando
Yeah.
in 2 weeks. So lots of preparations basically for small meetings or big meetings like this, and serving our members, doing research. It's we have over 100 employees nowadays, so
Oh.
there are many things going on at the same time.
Yeah.
It's hard to capture everything in one sentence, I'm afraid.
Of course, it's a lot. I mean, thank you so much, Mr. Peter, and on behalf of IAAPA, I'd love to say thank you so much, and the contribution that you guys are making. Obviously, not only in this event. I mean, you said that you are a global organization, so we appreciate you guys, and we hope we are able to facilitate as well the continental free trade thing, in the whole continent on behalf of IAAPA.
If you
And,
look at how Europe started, it started with 12 countries, I believe, and
Yeah.
look at it now. So you have to start somewhere. And
Yeah.
I think having that start is already a great step.
Okay.
So the future looks bright, I would say.
Great stuff. Thank you so much. And this is the Travel Podcast. We are live at Constitution Hill in Johannesburg, right here at the conference that was hosted, of course, by AAVEA, which is an association, of course, in the tourism space, and that they are doing really, really great things. Thank you so much. My name is Elvis Mulifimolf.